My name is Vamshi, and I'll be your host today. I have a couple of years of experience into reporting, and all of IT. 14 years of experience, and right now I'm working on the data science. And as part of my journey, right, have worked on a lot of architectures. So where it involved creating some kind of end user reporting kind of activities as well. So using Power BI and some other tools as well. Okay. So let us not stick on to that one. Okay. So let me start with today's agenda. So what is Power BI and why Power BI is still useful today, or what is the need of Power BI? So why it is very important, why it is, or even if you look at, right, Google it, right? Okay. So it is one of the topmost tools in terms of data analytics. Okay. So why it is so, and what is the need of that one? What as a Power BI developer, what should be your skills? Okay. So we'll try to understand all these things in detail today. Okay, so before even I start, right? Okay, so let me know. Any one of you, are you who is working into analytics, any kind of analytics, business analytics, data analytics, whatever it is? Let me ask you. How many of you are working professionals here? Fine, fine. Manjunath, okay. Sunil, okay. So Manjunath, you're working as? Okay, Omar, yeah, you can speak.
I'm working as a. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm working as a consultant, cloud consultant. Okay,
Okay.
I need a report like uh, we are in a cloud. How many servers? How many uh, deployed server? We need to monitor everything.
Okay.
That's why I want to use for the dashboard.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice. You're working on cloud, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Sunil. Yes.
Hi, good morning to everyone. Yeah, I work for, I'm working as BD in business development. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I wanted to shift my career towards this analytics. Yeah.
Okay, 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 fine. Yes, Omar.
Hello everyone, here Omar Vasquez here from Mexico City. I have been working as a financial consultant and for the implementation of ERP systems, mainly PeopleSoft from Oracle. Right now I'm transitioning to be a data analyst or business analyst. So for me to have to handle visualization tool is very important for me right now.
Okay, okay, nice.
Thank
Fine.
you.
That's great. Fine, guys. Okay. So I hope rest of you people are freshers, or you might want to start your journey onto Power BI right now. Okay, so let me.
Sorry, hey, Rajesh here. Sorry,
Yeah.
some audio issue.
Well,
So
no.
just no job. That's okay. Actually, I'm Rajesh. I do have 10 plus of years experience. I'm currently working in purely on ETL development along with Snowflake and few other clouds.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I'm quite familiar or just understand very baseline about Power BI, but I really get my advanced level of concepts understanding. So I'm really looking forward on various things. Like probably you might be explaining this demo session. Maybe few topics I'm interested in. Probably I will ask at the last.
Okay, okay, right, right, nice. Okay, so
Do
you're
you mind, do you mind
already.
sharing? Do you mind sharing your experience alone? I really missed it, but you don't want to repeat everything. Just your experience on this Power BI alone. That should help me.
Okay, okay. So let me tell you, I'm having overall of 14 years of IT experience, and on to Power BI, I'm having almost all 5 plus years of experience. Right now, I'm working as data scientist actually. But as part of this journey, before even I worked on so many ETL tools and into data engineering side as well. So where we have created a lot of reports and dashboards using Power BI and some other tools as well. Okay. So now, okay. So in this demo session, I'll let you know. What is the need of Power BI? So why it is important, and what are the what basically is Power BI? So we'll try to understand all these things in detail. So if you look at Power BI, right? What is Power BI exactly? To let you know in simple terms, right? So it's a data visualization and business intelligence tool from Microsoft. Okay, so I mean, which can take in data from any kind of data sources, and moreover, what we do is after extracting the data from different kinds of data sources, right? Okay, so Power BI has some kind of inbuilt, I mean, components where it can let you transform the data. That means, like, say, for example, using any kind of ETL tool, you perform some kind of, you apply some kind of transformation techniques, right? So all of those kind of features we do have in Power BI. I mean, apart from that one, we can even perform some kind of data modeling kind of activities. Okay, so data modeling kind of activities in the sense, I mean, so tomorrow, while like say, for example, when you're working on any kind of project, right? So you might be coming up with some kind of star schema or snowflakes kind schema kind of model. Okay. So all those kind of data modeling kind of tasks, I mean, you can perform with Power BI. Apart from that one, okay, so it has some very good features called as DAX. I mean, okay, so where you can apply some kind of formulas here, where you can write some kind of formulas, and again you can build some kind of interactive visualizations. Okay, so now it is one of the SaaS based kind of component and from Microsoft. I mean, okay, so if you look at cloud components, right? Okay, so we do have three kinds of components, right? Like say, for example, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service kind of model. Okay, so Power BI is some kind of end user kind of reporting kind of visualization tool. Okay, so which comes under SaaS based kind of modeling actually. So what we do typically in Power BI is, like say, for example, you might be having different kinds of data sources. Okay, so if you look at the data sources, right, I'll practically show you what kind of data sources it can take in. Okay, now it can like so for example, today the data what is being getting generated is much more into unstructured kind of format. Okay, so rather than structured kind of format, okay, so it is much more into unstructured kind of format. And the traditional ETL or like say for example the the BI kind of tools won't be sufficient, okay, in order to perform any kind of end user reporting kind of activities here, because the main thing is you have to, I mean, you have to deal with unstructured kind of data or some kind of data which is not structured kind of formats actually. Okay, so if you look at structured, right, so it has some kind of predefined structure. Like say, for example, the data which is stored in some kind of SQL tables. Okay, so because the data will be stored in some kind of neatly defined rows and columns there, right? Okay, that is structured. Now coming to the case of semi-structured kind of data. So semi-structured data resembles something in the format of XML kind of files, HTML, web pages. Okay, so all this comes under some look at unstructured kind of data format. Data that is generated, that is being generated today is much more into unstructured kind of formats here. Okay, and you require some kind of, I mean, so we need to able to capture all those kind of data. Okay, so we need to we should have a platform where we can deal with such kind of data. Okay, and come up with some kind of insights from the data. Okay, so that is where your Power BI will fit in actually. Okay, so now let me tell you what is the importance of Power BI here. Okay, so if you browse onto the official website of this Power BI, right, which is from Microsoft. Okay, so you can see some kind of web page in this way. Now let me show you some kind of Gartner's report here. So why Power BI is important? What is its like? So for example, let me show you this one. See, if you look at this one, guys, okay, so as of January 2023, so it is from Gartner. Okay, so this is one of the popular consulting companies across the globe, which gives you some quick insights about the technical specifications or about the different kinds of technologies. Okay, so into different domains and platforms here. Okay, so now if you look at, I mean, hope you might heard about different kinds of tools here. Okay, so but when it comes to the case, right? Okay, so you can see who is the leader here actually. Okay, so they have divided this, I mean, into 4 quadrants here. So leaders, challengers, niche players, and visionaries. Okay, so if you look at the leaders section, right? Okay, so clearly you can say that, I mean, see, you can understand that, I mean, Microsoft is the leader in terms of data analytics. Okay, so in terms of analytics, visualization, or whatever it is. Okay, so now, and they have some different set of tools here, not only Power BI, of course, there are also some powerful cloud as of now, Azure. Okay, you people know it. Okay. Again, after that one, you can see Tableau. Okay, so which is now part of Salesforce. Okay, again, you can see ClickView. I mean, so this is also one of the, I mean, rising, I mean, analytics tool. Okay, Apart from this one, I mean, you can see, like, say, for example, you're having different other kind of services here. Okay, so in the challenges section, you can see AWS, you can see Google. So their tool is Lookup. I mean, okay, so I don't know. I mean, Looker tool actually. Again, you can see MicroStrategy. So likewise, we're having different kinds of tool set, guys. I mean, for different kinds of vendor specific softwares here. But clearly, you can see that, I mean, so Microsoft is the leader actually, because I mean, let me tell you why Microsoft is the leader. Let me tell you, guys. Until 2010, right? Okay, so Tableau was dominating this world actually. Okay, so in terms of data analytics and visualization kind of technologies, right? So until 2010, I mean, till 2010, so Tableau was dominating. So after 2010, so Microsoft actually, they have come up with inbuilt kind of analytics and some other kind of AI and machine learning built-in features actually in terms of Power BI. Okay, so they were offering some different kinds of services apart from the normal visualization kind of techniques. So they introduced some kind of machine learning task. I mean, again, they have introduced some kind of cognitive kind of learnings. I mean, okay, so cognitive in the sense you can perform some kind of deep learning activities and AI kind of visualizations. Okay, so that is where, I mean, it had. I mean, so they have rise like anything, and moreover, not only that, they have even introduced some different kinds of data sources as well. Okay, so which can take in which Power BI can consume. Okay, so I'll show you. I mean, in the rest of few minutes, I mean, I'll show you. So what kind of data sources it can take in and what it can do actually. Okay, so if you look at Power BI, right? So generally, I mean, we do have three kinds of like, so for example, Power BI. Components, I mean, you can call it as. Okay, so Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and mobile Power BI. Okay, so like, let me tell you what exactly these components are. So Power BI desktop is where you tomorrow as a developer, you will be working on this one. Okay, so they have some on-premises kind of thing. Again, they have the Power BI cloud as well. Okay, so even people who might, I mean, tomorrow you might be working on cloud, right? Okay, so you can integrate. I mean, so they, I mean, if you look at Azure data lakes, or like, say, for example, even if you look at some other kind of Databricks or Synapse Analytics from Azure, right? Okay, so they have inbuilt Power BI kind of embedded kind of thing there. Okay, so you can perform some kind of, you can come up with some kind of insights from the data. You can build some interactive reports and dashboards as well. Okay, so that is Power BI Cloud. Again, for on-premises kind of solution, you're having Power BI Desktop here. Okay, again, like, say, for example, as I told you, Power BI service is again some kind of server kind of feature from Power BI. I mean, Power BI. Okay, so where you can use it, like, say, for example, you can use it to perform some kind of admin related kind of activities. Again, for end user kind of reporting or sharing your reports and dashboards, you can use this one. Okay, again, you can schedule your reports as well on a timely basis. Okay, so again, like, say, for example, you can even perform some other activities as well. Like, say, for example, now I want to share my report to my colleagues or like, say, for example, end users or whoever it is. Okay, so what kind of roles you can assign them? What kind of, how do you want to share your reports or dashboards as well? Everything we can perform using Power BI service here. Okay, so like, say, for example, the features like authentication. Okay, so giving some kind of security or assigning some kind of roles to my users or colleagues. Okay, so or even like, say, for example, scheduling the reports on timely basis. Okay, so for all these kind of activities, I can come up with Power BI service here. Again, like, say, for example, now the end users might be requesting the reports in some kind of formats, right? So because, see, they might be having some kind of desktop with them, or they might be having some kind of laptop with them, or they might be having some kind of mobile devices, or they might be having some kind of iPads or whatever it is. Okay, so all those kind of things, I mean, so you can even perform it using Power BI service as well. And especially, like, say, for example, so as I told you, the end user will be having some different kinds of devices. So I mean, you have the there is also a feature in order to consume those reports using mobile. Okay, so mobile Power BI. Okay, so you do have Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and Power BI mobile apps, guys. Okay, so like, say, for example, the complete dashboard, you can give it in a format of app kind of thing. Okay, so just like we do have some kind of apps in our mobile phones, right? So the same way, what we can do is we can create some kind of reports and dashboards. You can again share that report or dashboard to the end user in the format of an app also. Okay, so then he can consume that one using Power BI mobile app kind of thing, and again he can view all the like say for example requested reports, the end user, he can view it in the format of an app. Okay, so again whatever the changes will be done on that reports or dashboards, then same will be reflected in that app as well. Okay, so that is what Power BI is. So they have three different kinds of components here. Okay, so now Power BI desktop, as I told you, it is an on-premises kind of thing. Again, you're having Power BI cloud as well also. Okay, so why Power BI? As I told you today, it has some, like say for example, you can perform different kinds of activities right from extracting the data, or if at all you want to transform the data, you're having some kind of inbuilt components here actually in Power BI. I'll let you know in a few minutes actually what are those kind of components here. Okay, again you can perform some kind of different kinds of data modeling kind of activities. Again you can write some kind of some formulas here. Okay, so where you want to come up with any kind of real time updates from the data actually. Again you can build some kind of interactive dashboards here. Okay, so reports or dashboards. Okay, so for all those kind of activities you can use Power BI, and of course I've shown you why Power BI is important. Okay, so it is now the leader in terms of this kind of things. Apart from this one, okay, so all this kind of features you will be having in other kind of tool like Tableau or whatever it is. But where Power BI excels is, like say for example, it has some inbuilt features regarding some kind of machine learning kind of activities, or like say for example AI visuals, now which no other data visualization tool has. Those kind of features I'll show you in a couple of minutes. I'll show you what exactly those things are actually. Okay, again if you let us not to stick on to that part actually, the history of Power BI. Okay, if you look at the Power BI components, right, so Power BI has different kinds of inbuilt components here. Okay, so let me tell you now. Power BI, like say for example, the heart of Power BI is nothing but it is the heart of Power BI, I guess, Power Query. Okay, so because Power Query is something, so where you can deal with the data, where you can apply transformation rules on the data. Now, like say for example, some of you told that you are working on some kind of ETL tools, right? Okay, so after you extract, you generally perform some kind of like say for example, some kind of transformation techniques, right? So if you look at this one, right? So I'll tell you about the traditional kind of data warehousing kind of architectures. Okay, so now, like say for example, in the traditional data warehousing kind of architectures, right? Okay, so we do have some kind of OLTP systems, also called as online transactional processing. So day-to-day transactions will be recorded here in some kind of data sources. So we'll be extracting the data and will be like say for example, maintain or load that data into some kind of area or repository called as staging area. Okay, so this is the area where you apply some kind of transformation techniques on the data. Okay, so that means like say for example, because see the data what you extract, right, it will be in different formats, right? Because when you're dealing with data, there will be a lot of discrepancies in the data, meaning like say for example, data might contain some kind of duplicates. Okay, so data might contain some kind of missing values also. Okay, so data might contain some kind of unwanted kind of data values also. Okay, so likewise it might contain different kinds of date formats as well. So what we do is, as per the business needs and requirements, and now as per the what are the data you're loading into the target warehouse, right? Okay, so we ensure that we like say for example, apply some kind of transformation rules on the data, and we bring up some kind of formatted or like say for example clean data actually. Okay, so then what we do is we generally load the data into the target warehouse. Okay, or target systems also, people call it as target database, people call it using different names here. Okay, so then we also like say for example load the data into something called as data marts. Okay, so data marts are nothing but they are the subsets of data warehouse, guys. Okay, so especially in terms of I'll tell you while we are learning in detail in our regular sessions, right? So we'll be discussing about what those things are. But as of now, so just understand that after loading the data into that one, right? Okay, so data marts or whatever it is, generally we come up with some kind of BI related kind of activities. So here is where, like say for example, you people performs, you as a Power BI developer or some other kind of BI reporting tool developer, so you come up with, you take all that data, you consume that data, again you come up with some kind of insights from the data where you will be building some kind of reports and dashboards. So this was about the traditional data warehousing architectures. But as I told you today, like say for example, I mean, the normal traditional data warehousing architectures are not sufficient enough actually in order to handle different kinds of data here. Because as I told you, today, if you look at right, the data is much more getting generated into some unstructured kind of formats here. Okay, so whatever is the data structure, you can deal with it. Okay, so using Power BI. Okay, so let me tell you now, even if you look at the traditional data warehouse and the data lake kind of architectures, right? So data lake kind of architectures, like say for example, okay, so they are meant to handle huge volumes of unstructured data, guys. So that is why they come up with some kind of data lake. But there are some kind of drawbacks using this data warehouse kind of architecture and data lake kind of architecture as well. Okay, so now the drawback of data warehouse systems are, like say for example, now if you look at the pros, right? So data warehouse architecture is meant for, I mean, it has very good support for BI kind of applications here, BI workloads or BI kind of applications. Okay. So, but when it comes to the case of machine learning related kind of activities, right? Okay. So machine learning and some other kind of analytics activities, right? Okay. So it doesn't support those kind of activities actually. So because the reason is, I mean, here we do have almost all, I mean, the data which you load into your data warehouses, right? Mostly it will be into relational kind of formats only. And that is why it cannot handle some other kind of, non-relational kind of activities here. But when it comes to the case of data lakes, right? Data lakes are very good at performing some kind of data science and machine learning kind of activities, but it has a poor support for this BI kind of applications here. Now that is the drawback here. Okay, so that is why they have integrated these two things on a single platform called as Databricks. Okay, fine. So, and they came up with some kind of architecture called as data lakehouse kind of architecture. Okay, so where, like, say for example, now on top of this one, if I have some kind of single platform where I can integrate or unify all my data needs, right? Okay, so it would be better, right? Okay, so because the data analysts will be working on a single platform, even the data science or AI people or whatever it is, okay, so they will be working on a single platform here. Okay, so now it can have, like, say for example, it can have all the support for all the data kind of activities here. So that is why, I mean, today you can see, like, say for example, the data architectures. If you look at data architectures, right? So probably, I mean, most probably they are coming up with some kind of data lake or data lakehouse kind of architectures. And it is important that you know something about these kind of architectures here. Okay. So, but whatever it is, your Power BI can fit into all the data needs here. When it comes to the case of data visualization kind of activities or some kind of BI kind of activities, okay, so it can fit into any kind of architectures here. Okay, and you can build some kind of interactive visuals, I mean, here. Okay, so on top of your data. Okay, now, so as I told you, the component which we use to perform some kind of transformations on the data, right? What is Power Query here? Okay, so again, Power Pivot, like say for example, Power Pivot and Power View, like say for example, we can use this to perform some kind of data modeling kind of activities here. Okay, so I'll come up with that one. So again, Power Pivot, I mean, you can use it to write some kind of DAX formulas as well. Like say for example, if you look at an Excel, right, you can write some kind of formulas, right? You can come up with some kind of formulas here. Okay, so now again, you do have even support for your Power Map kind of things as well. I mean, there's a component called as Power Map. We can come up with some kind of map visuals here. Map visuals, like say for example, I want to show some kind of like say for example, I want to show some kind of world map here. On top of that one, I want to show some kind of visualizations there. Okay, so even you can come up with those kind of visualizations also here. Again, as I told you, you're having some other component called as Power BI service. So Power BI service we have already discussed. I mean, so it is used for some kind of admin and other kind of activities. Power BI question and answer is this kind of feature, as I told you, this is some of the AI component which is built on top of NLP. Okay, so now you people, I mean, so everywhere you go, it is a chat GPT, right? Okay, so I mean, it was built on top of some kind of NLP and some other kind of AI algorithms. Okay, so now especially when it comes to the case of Power BI, right, it is the same actually. Okay, so what is the use of that one? I'll show you in a couple of minutes. I mean, okay. Now again, coming to data management gateway. I mean, data management gateway again is used to, like, say, for example, data management and the data catalog. So where it helps to, I mean, extract your data, perform some kind of metadata kind of activities. Okay, so all those comes under some kind of admin related kind of activities. Okay, so these are Power BI inbuilt components here. Okay, now if you look at Power BI architecture, right? So it can consume data from any kind of data sources today, whether it is structured, unstructured, or any other kind of app-based kind of format as well. Okay, so even you can extract the data from a web page as well. Okay, so again, you can transform that data. You can load that data into your normal data warehouse. Again, you can come up with interactive dashboards or visualizations. I mean, you can even use it for a user reporting kind of activities. So now let me show you some the user interface of Power BI. So when you download and install Power BI, right? It's something looks in this way, guys. Okay. Now, so mainly Power BI has three different kinds of windows here. Okay, so in the left hand section, you can see, okay, so I'm scrolling my mouse here. You can see these are the three important windows here. Okay, so like, say, for example, the user interface onto which we are right now is, okay, so it is also called as report view here. Okay, so this is called as report view. So after you load the data here, right? Okay, so you can come up with different kinds of visualizations here. Okay, so you do have some kind of visualizations. You can come up with these kind of visualizations. Then again, the other part is, like, say, for example, the data view. So like, say, for example, after you load the data, right? Okay, so again, you can see how your data looks like. Like, say, for example, if you have loaded some kind of CSV file, okay, so you can even, browse that CSV file. You can make that changes. I'll show you how to make that changes. Again, a model view. So model view is where, like, say, for example, when you're dealing with multiple data sources at a time. Okay, so like, say, for example, I'm having some kind of data sources, some Excel file, and some other kind of data sources, some other kind of table format. Okay, so now normally I'll be coming up with some kind of a modeling kind of activities here. Okay, so where I'll be like, say, for example, coming up with this kind of view here. Okay, so in those kind of activities, your normal model view kind of window will be working on. Okay, so now let me show you some kind of things here. Okay, so you have transform data, right? So before even before transform data, so let me show you how many ways you can extract the data into Power BI. Okay, so if you get if you click on this get data kind of icon, right, it will show you some kind of data sources from where it can consume the data. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, see, now these are typically the different data sources from where the data can be consumed by Power BI. Okay, so if you look at the file formats, right? So today, like, say, for example, the normal Excel file and CSV file, text file, or like, say, for example, the tab delimiter file or JSON file. Again, you're having some other kind of unstructured kind of formats like PDF, Parquet. Okay, so Parquet is some other kind of unstructured kind of file formats where especially we'll be using much more into cloud kind of services here. Again, you have support for some kind of SharePoint folder as well. Okay, so these are the different kinds of file formats. Okay, so whatever the unstructured kind of format, you can convert it into Parquet. Again, you can load that data into Power BI. Okay, so if you look at the database kind of data sources, right, it do have support for different kinds of databases today. Okay, so let me show you this one. Okay, so SQL Server database, it is the proprietary on-premises kind of database from Microsoft. Again, Access database, SQL Server Analysis Services database, your SSAS kind of activities. Again, Oracle, IBM DB2, IBM Informix, IBM Netezza, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Sybase, Teradata, which is very much employed in huge data warehousing applications. Again, you do have separate connectivity for SAP data sources as well. Again, the cloud database from Amazon, that is Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery, in terms of big data kind of activities also, they'll be using it a lot. And even cloud data sources also, they'll be using it a lot from GCP platform. Again, you're having Snowflake integration as well. Okay, Amazon Athena, where we will be performing some kind of machine learning kind of activities. Again, so likewise, even see, if you look at some of the data sources, right? I hope you might not even heard about those kind of data sources as well. Okay, so if you look at, Dremio, okay, so Denodo, okay, so these kind of data sources. But again, you do have, all these kind of, again, you're having MariaDB. Okay, so likewise, you're having different kinds of database connectivity. So wherever, see, like, say, for example, whatever the organization, in whichever domain it is into, or whichever kind of business role it is into, so whatever the data sources or whatever the data generation they might be having, so Power BI will let you connect to any kind of data sources today. Okay, so that is the very big feature from Power BI. Okay, again, if you look at the Power Platform, right, so it has some inbuilt connectivity for some inbuilt kind of Power Platforms, like you do have Power BI data sets. Okay, so already you're having some kind of Power BI data set. If at all you want to make any changes and come up with any kind of other kind of activities, again, you do have that one. Okay, so now again, coming up with Azure platform, right? So as you people know, Azure is the cloud service from Microsoft again. Okay, so on top of cloud again, like, for example, so as I told you, tomorrow you might be working on some kind of cloud data warehousing kind of architecture, or you might be working on some kind of data lake kind of architectures, or you might be working on some kind of data bricks, or you might be working on like, for example, the unified component called as Synapse Analytics. Okay, so likewise, so might be, you might be see, you might be having your data stored into blob storage, or Cosmos DB, or like, for example, data lake storage on Azure, or you might be having some kind of data onto some other kind of AWS component like S3 bucket. Okay, so might be whatever it is. Okay, so you do have again support. Like, for example, you can connect your data, you can integrate your data from any of these kind of Azure related components using Power BI. Okay, so even if you take, like, for example, AWS, even if you take GCP, even if you take IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud. Okay, so whatever it is, you do have support and integration with Power BI. Okay, so you can come up with any kind of data, you can deal with that one, you can come up with some kind of inbuilt reports, and any kind of dashboard kind of activities, whatever it is. Okay, so again, see, if at all, if there is any other kind of activity, say, for example, some of the cloud services, they do not let you perform those kind of activities. So in that case, what you can do is, you can, like, say, for example, I'm having some kind of data which is stored in some kind of storage kind of kind of component you in IBM. Say, for example, I'm having some kind of data in IBM Cloud. So what I can do, if it doesn't lets you like, say, for example, perform some kind of visualization activities directly, right? So what you can do is, you can bring that data into your Azure data lake storage. Then from Azure data lake storage, what you can do, you can integrate using Power BI, and you can come up with some kind of reports. So that is what even we can do in different kinds of scenarios there. Okay. Now again, some other kind of online services where it has some kind of these are all the cloud tools get online services. Okay, so like, say, for example, you're having different kinds of services like SharePoint Online, Microsoft Exchange, Dynamics, some other kind of platform. Okay, so from Microsoft, again, you're having, like, say, for example, Dynamics Business Central. Okay, so Azure DevOps. Okay, so this is one of the again, you can see DevOps kind of platforms also, where we'll be continuously monitoring the CI/CD kind of applications, and you will be coming up with some kind of dashboards there. Okay, so again, you have some integration with some kind of Salesforce kind of tools as well. So Salesforce objects and Salesforce reports. Again, Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics. Okay, so again, you're having GitHub integration as well. Okay, so which is again part of Microsoft actually. Again, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Marketo, where this marketing people will be using this Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, and this one, Marketo. There's digital marketing and some kind of sales where there is online sales, right? So they will be using this one. Again, coming up with Dynamics, this one also, Dynamics and Salesforce, SFMC. So these people will be using heavily these kind of tools, and so you can even you come up with some kind of rich visualizations using Power BI as well. Okay, so again, you're having some other kind of online services as well. I hope, I mean, you might not have heard about some other kind of tools as well. But I mean, if you see, as I told you, so whatever the organization it is into, I mean, so whatever the data generation techniques they're having, so whatever the tools they're using or will be used by them. So Power BI has integration with all those kind of tools it's here. So this is one of the reason why Power BI is a leader in these times of data analytics as well. Again, you do have support from some other kind of RPA kind of activities as well, automation anywhere. Okay. So again, so likewise, you do have different kind of things, guys. Again, you're having Zoho Form, Zoho Creator. Okay, so Databricks. Okay, so Databricks. I mean, there is okay. So we were discussing about these data sources, right? So as I told you, you can see there are a lot of some other kind of data sources as well, even from AWS. I mean, Amazon Open Search Service. Again, likewise, you're having different kinds of data sources, guys. Okay, so it has some inbuilt support where you can integrate all these kind of data sources, whatever it is. You can come up with different kinds of data activities here. Okay. So likewise, I mean, you can perform different kinds of activities here, guys. Now, let me show you some quick insights. I mean, how Power BI can, like, say, for example, fine. So as I told you, we can perform some quick insights from the data. So now let me show you how we can do that one. So say, for example, I'm having some kind of Excel file here. So the moment when you try to load any kind of file, right? Okay, so it will show you some kind of I mean, interface in this way. So in the left hand section, I'm having different kinds of data with me from different kinds of years here into my Excel workbook. So let me show you, let me take in 2022 data here. Okay, so again, so when you click on this one, right, in the right hand side, you can see different kinds of, like, for example, the data. Okay, so from different years, I'm having the data here. So what I can do, let me, for as typing, I mean, let me show you, I'll be taking only particular year data here. Okay, so then, I think I'm having local, okay, fine. So now, when you try to, like, for example, again, when it loads the data, right, see, I mean, you're having different kinds of icons again here. Okay, so buttons, I mean, I can say, okay, load, transform data, and cancel. Now load means, like, so for example, you can directly see the data here, but I'll instead of loading the data, right? Okay, so what will I do is, let me click on this transform data. Okay, so if I click on this transform data, right, it will take me to a window called as Power Query Editor. So as I told you, this is heart of your Power BI kind of desktop here. Okay, so because this is the area, or this is the I mean platform where you'll be I mean, performing some kind of transformations on the data. You'll be applying different kinds of transformations on the data here. Okay, so like, say, for example, here, if at all you want to perform any kind of activity, let me show you. Like, say, for example, if you want to remove any particular column here, or like, say, for example, I want to remove any particular rows here. Okay, so you do have that option as well. Okay, or like, say, for example, if at all you want to split a column. Okay, so like, say, for example, if I click on this one, right, you do have, I mean, if at all you're having, I mean, any kind of delimiters also. Okay, so I mean, you can even come up with that one as well. Okay, so you can split the column using a delimiter or number, or like, say, for example, any kind of positions. Okay, again, you can perform some kind of group by activity. And again, it has support to, like, say, for example, some kind of merge queries and append queries. So let me tell you what exactly this one is. Now, if you look at SQL, right? Okay, so you might be, you might have learned about joins and set operators, right? So now there is a, like, say, for example, so when we go for joins and when we go for set operators, guys, like, say, for example, I'm having the data structures, like, say, for example, I'm having same kind of data structures. So in this way, if at all I want to append any kind of or concatenate any kind of rows from different data sets, right? So I'll be going for append queries kind of option here. Or else, like, say, for example, if at all I want to, like, say, for example, combine columns from multiple data sources, right? In those activities, I'll be going for merge queries right here. Okay, so merge queries. If you click on that one, right? So like, say, for example, now this is one kind of data set here. Again, you might be, say, for example, if at all you're having any other kind of data set where you're working on multiple data sets. Now, even you can perform some kind of join operations here. Okay, so you can come up with, join you want. Okay. So by default, Power BI will automatically suggest you the kind of join here. But if at all you are having any other kind of scenario which you want to come up with, you can, play with the data by coming up with your own kind of join here also. Okay. So like you can select what kind of join you want based upon your requirement. Okay, so then you can even integrate the data as well. Again, like I told you, the best part thing is like, so for example, you're having this kind of AI based connectivity actually. So if at all you want to come up with any kind of text analytics kind of thing, you can even perform that one. Okay, so it will again connect to your some kind of Azure kind of scenario here. Okay, so we'll be learning it later actually, not now. Okay, so again, cognitive kind of abilities, like say for example, vision. Vision means like, say for example, it contains some kind of deep learning kind of activities here. Then again, you can come up with some other kind of, say for example, you want to perform or you want to come up with some kind of report based on some kind of predictions. Okay, so again, you can perform those kind of activities also here. Okay, so using Azure machine learning portal here. Okay, so now we're not done with this one, right? See, whatever operation you perform here, like say for example, it will be like say for example recorded here. Like say for example, now let me show you. See, let me show you a quick scenario here. Like say for example, let me delete this one now. Okay, so I want to delete like say for example this particular vendor Apple. Okay, so like say for example, so even I can perform this one. Okay, so like say for example, see. Remove rows. You're having some kind of thing, right? Okay, remove rows. Remove top rows. Like say for example, here how many rows you want to remove? Like say for example, let me remove. Only first row as well. So that is why I'm giving only one. Now the moment you perform that operation, right? See, it will keep track of all the changes here actually. Applied steps. If you look at in the applied steps, right? It will keep track of all the changes here. Okay. So like say for example, even sometimes I don't want to like say for example mistakenly I performed any kind of operation here. So again you can undo here. Okay, so this is also one of the best features again you're having. Okay, so again I got my row back here actually. Okay, so whatever operations you perform on the data, everything will be like for example tracked here in the applied steps here. Okay, so again see, because see you might be working on different kinds of like for example I might be having different kinds of data with me, or my data might be containing different kinds of like for example sources or whatever it is. Okay, so like say for example you can come up with all these kind of activities here. Okay, so based upon your requirement you can change your data, you can modify your data. Okay, you can transform your data. Okay, so for perform whatever operations you want to perform on the data, you can do it here. Okay, so that is why this component is very, very important, Power Query Editor. Then after this one, what I do is like, so for example, after I clean the data, okay. Now sometimes like, so for example, I might be having some kind of missing values. So how to check that missing values here? So let me show you now here. So now here, if you look at like say, on every particular column, right, there will be some kind of drop down list here. Okay. So you can check here. This will show you all the unique values in that particular column, guys. Okay. It will show you all the unique values. Okay. So likewise, if at all you want to remove any empty values, right? So wherever there are null values will be automatically removed here. If you perform this operation. Okay. So in that particular column as well. Okay. So, but in real time, when you're dealing with data, so carefully look at how many, like for example, if you look at this one, right? See, here I'm having some kind of missing data. But when I remove this one, right, the entire complete record, like for example, in each and every cell will be wiped out. So always all be careful while you are, like for example, dealing with data here. Okay. Now, let me load this one. See, after you make the changes, right? So what I do is, here you have the icon called close and apply here. Okay. So now close and apply. So now it will be loading the data here. See, after the data has been loaded, right? Here you can see the data which was being loaded after your transformation. Okay. Now, in terms of data warehouse or some kind of data language, right? So we speak in terms of dimensions and measures, right? So wherever there are numerical fields, right? So it will be showing you some kind of this mu kind of symbol here. There is some kind of Greek symbol, right? Mathematics symbol. Okay. So that means it is some kind of numerical field. Okay. So Power BI will differentiate the fields into that way. Now, as I told you, So the current kind of interface onto which we are one is like, say for example, it is report view, as I told you. Okay. Now, even I told you that we can see, I mean, in the data view, it will something look like in this way. Okay. So in the data view. From here also, like say for example, here also what you can do is here you can apply some kind of formulas as well. Okay. So you can come up with any kind of formulas if at all you want. Okay. So here you can do on the reporting and also you can do. Now coming to this one, right? It simply shows you some kind of snapshot kind of table in this way. Say for example, if at all you were having some other kind of data field also, what you can do if they're having any kind of I mean similar kind of columns, right? So what you can do, you can join those two kinds of data sources. Okay, so this is where your modeling kind of tab will help you to connect different kinds of data sources. Okay, that means you can come up with different kinds of data models also. Okay, now again after this one, so what I do is like say for example, now let me show you. So it is very simple. Like say for example, let me show you here. So I'm having different kinds of vendor. See, when I enabled or when I clicked on this vendor, right, automatically, the data, it is showing you something in this way. Okay, so this is normally by basically it will show you something in the format of text kind of format here. Again, like for example, product. Let me also choose some kind of product here. And like say for example, okay, so I can come up with other kind of things here, like say for example, any other kind of thing. I mean, not having sales figures here. Okay, so reported by, you can come up with any kind of things here. Okay, and perform any other kind of activities as well. See, if I click on this one, right, so it will show you something in this way. I mean, see, whatever, like, for example, icons you're choosing, whatever fields you're choosing, right? Okay. So it will show you basically, I mean, onto that one. Let me take any other kind of data set. I mean, I can show you into much more detailed way. Fine. Okay. So in this one, I do not have any kind of sales figures. Okay. So let me also come up with some other kind of thing here. Okay. So let me take this data set now. Let me load this one. Now you're having two data sets here. So even you can, what you can do is you can remove this from your model. So I say delete from my model. So it will be removed from your model. Now let's say, for example, I'm having like say, for example, the other data set where I'm having some kind of sales data with me. Now it will be very helpful in order to show some kind of different visualizations here. Now, like say, for example, I'm having some kind of data with me. Now, let me take some kind of product related information here. Okay, so like say, for example, the product name. And again, let me come up with any kind of sales figures here. Okay, so if you look at that one, right? Okay, you do have some kind of sales figure. So as I told you, by default, it will be some kind of textual table kind of format. But again, when you click onto this kind of visualization, right, automatically it will be turned on to the particular kind of visual, whatever you have selected. So selected some kind of clustered bar chart here. Okay, so it will be showing you the different kinds of products with its sales figures here. Okay, so you can adjust your visuals onto this reports here. So likewise, what you can do, you can come up with any different other kind of activities as well. Like, so for example, subcategory I've taken, and again I've taken some kind of sales here. So now let me show this into some kind of, donut chart here. Okay. So likewise, you can come up with different kinds of visuals, guys. I'm having again date related information here. Okay. So like, so for example, order date. Okay. Now again, like say for example, let me show you this into, like say for example, uh, okay, again I can take sales here, so I can come up with some kind of this thing here. Okay, so some kind of date related information here. Now you can see, like, so for example, I'm having lowest in sales in the year 2015, and especially I'm having some kind of highest number of sales in the year 2017. So again, if you look at, right, okay, 2016, I'm having, I mean, after 2015, it is exponentially, the sales got raised, I mean, exponentially. Okay. So in the 2014 year, I mean, even if you look at here, if you hover your mouse onto this one, it will show you some kind of tooltip here. Okay. So what kind of date it is, what kind of sales you got, I mean, so depends, I mean, it will show you the figures here. So likewise, as I told you, one kind of, likewise, you can come up with any other kind of things, guys. Like, say, for example, now let me select some kind of sales figures here. Normally, if I select only sales, right, that is the numerical figure, okay, sales. Now, when I hover my mouse onto this one, it will show you some kind of figure. Okay. Even I can show this into some other kind of, like, for example, cart kind of thing also. If you look, if you click onto this one, right? So 2.30 kind of million sales I'm having. Okay. So especially these kind of visualizations, right? You can see it onto some kind of dashboard kind of thing where you can integrate and onto, and you can show on top of that one. You might have seen some kind of dashboards, right? Okay. So likewise, I can show different visualizations here, interactive visualizations here. Again, like, say, for example, I can come up with some kind of other kind of things here. Like, say, for example, okay, let me show you. Okay, map kind of things here. Okay, now if I select, say, for example, country, right? Okay, so it is okay. Let me take some other kind of things. It is not supporting here, so let me show you in some other way. So country is local state. Okay, I need to come up with some kind of settings here. Okay, so I'll show you it later. I mean, okay, again, like, say, for example, I mean, so if you hover your mouse onto this one, right, you can come up with different kinds of visualizations here. Okay, so it depends upon what kind of data you're dealing with. And again, say, for example, you do have, I mean, say, for example, Python and R in connectivity also, where, like, say, for example, in Python, we do have some kind of, I mean, more, I mean, some kind of module called as matplotlib. Okay, so again, in R also, we ggplot kind of, I mean, concept we are having. So we can even, I mean, perform those kind of map, I mean, visualizations here as well. Okay, again, like, so for example, as I told you, there is some kind of best feature, I mean, where you can, like, so for example, question and answer kind of feature here. Okay, so let me show you that one. So this is one of the NLP kind of, I mean, data you're having. Let me show you this one. See, it looks something like your chatbot, guys. Okay, so, like, say, for example, you can ask it any kind of questions here. So this is one of the powerful features of Power BI, which even some other reporting tools doesn't have. Okay, so this is one of the AI based, I mean, NLP kind of techniques, and they have integrated into onto Power BI. Now you can ask it any kind of questions related to what kind of data set you have connected to. Like, say, for example, highest sales. I'll type in highest sales by product. Okay, so the moment I click in, right? Okay, so okay, it is not taking highest. Let me take it total sales. Okay, see, when I clicked on total sales by product, right? See, it is automatically giving me, like, for example, some kind of bar chart here. I haven't performed any kind of visualization here. Okay, so likewise, like, say, for example, let me take some other kind of thing here. Let me also show you. Now, let me come up with total sales by region. Okay, see, total sales by region. Again, it is showing me, like, say, for example, the west region got a lot of sales, followed by east region, again central and south here. Okay, now again, likewise, like, say, for example, I mean, even you can come up with, like, say, for example, like, say, for example, I can come up with any kind of, see, I'm having category. Okay, so total sales by, let me See, if I come up with category, right, I'm having some separate column on category. Okay, so field called category. I can even come up with those kind of things as well. Total sales by category. Now, if I hover my mouse onto this one, right, okay, so it will show me that I'm having totally of 3 kinds of categories here. So that is technology, furniture, and office supplies. Okay, and if you hover your mouse, it will directly show me the respected relative sales, I mean, the sum of sales here. So likewise, even I'm having subcategory as well. So let me even type this one. See, if I click on this one, right, automatically it is showing me the visual here, total sales by subcategory. Likewise, you can come up with city as well. Okay, so like say for example, total sales by city. Okay. See, if you click on this one, right, I'm having New York City, followed by Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco. Again, you're having some other kind of cities in this type. Okay, so likewise, I mean, so this is one of the best feature in terms of end user kind of reporting activities. So what we do, like, say, for example, now understand that I'm sharing my dashboard in the format of some kind of app kind of thing here. So what the end user can do, we can, like, say, for example, I'll give him this kind of feature here actually. Okay, so this kind of, so this is called as Power BI question and answer. So this is one of the component, okay, so in slide also I shown you, right? Okay, so if I giving this feature, right, he can search, he can interact with my data. Okay, sorry, he can interact with the reports or dashboards, whatever he want, in his own way actually. Okay, and he can view the results accordingly. So this will be very beneficial, right? Like say, for example, if I give him some kind of feature in this way, the end user can understand a lot of things and he can come up with his own kind of like, for example, insights from the data. So this is where Power BI is winning like anything actually. Okay, so because this kind of feature, we don't have it in Tableau or any other kind of BI tools right now in the market. Okay, so this is where they are, likewise, they're having some other kind of features as well. Okay, so but this is also the one of the winning factor that Power BI is leader in terms of, data analytics or visualization kind of sections here. Okay, fine. So that was about this thing, guys. Now coming up with, what we'll be learning as part of our Power BI kind of thing. So let me show you. So we'll be learning about the basics of Power BI. Okay, so if you look at the contents, right? So what kind of components we'll be dealing with? All those things we'll be learning here. And again, how to connect to data. So as I told you, we'll be having, I'll show you how to connect to web sources, how to connect to file sources from SQL Server. Okay, so if possible, I'll also show you some integration with Snowflake as well, or some other kind of Azure data lake also. I need to have provided, I need to have some kind of license there. Okay, again, the data preparation and modeling, as I told you, all the transformations on the data and all the different kinds of DAX, whatever you want to come up with, all the modeling kind of features, whatever you want to come up with on the data. So we'll be learning completely on this one. And again, well, see, whatever reporting tool or whatever BI tool you're working, there'll be a separate section onto filters. So I'll be will be also working on the filters, because even when you come up with some kind of end user kind of activity, right? So assigning this kind of feature to the end user will be very important. Okay, so because he can come up with different kinds of reports or visuals there. Okay. Again, if you look at the calculated fields, right? So what are the different kinds of calculated fields we are having? We'll be dealing with that one. Visualizations, of course, we'll be working on almost all the visualizations. Apart from this one, I'll be also showing you some other visualizations which we don't have in the window pane here actually. But even some of the interviews, they might ask you, have you worked on this kind of chart? Have you worked on that chart? Okay. So again, so we'll be coming up with DAX, data analysis expression. So this is where you'll be writing some kind of formulas. Okay, so unlike your Excel, right, you'll be working on different kinds of formulas here. So here we'll be working on different kinds of formulas. If else kind of logic, programmable logic, everything you can write here. Okay, so you have different kinds of functions here, like filter functions, logical, text, math functions, date and time related functions, statistical functions. So all these things, so we'll be working on. And again, coming to Power BI service, like I'll be showing you how to share your dashboards, how to come up with some kind of dashboards here. Okay, So how you can schedule those kind of data? I mean, like for example, reports or whatever it is. Okay. So on Power BI service, we'll be doing that one. So there is also some separate component called as reporting server. I'll be giving you an introduction about that one. Okay. Again, coming up with some kind of other kind of activities, we'll be also, I mean, learning a quick insights about what is SSAS kind of tabular model. So because, I mean, most probably in this kind of architectures, right, Power BI is employed a lot actually when it comes to the case of SSIS, because see, Power BI is a Microsoft tool. Again, if you do have, like, for example, SSIS or SSAS kind of tabular models where any, I mean, if at all any organizations are into these kind of activities, right? So you do have generally, you can see the reporting on the reporting hand, it will be Power BI only. Okay, so that is why in some interviews they might be also asking you whether if you know any kind of SSIS or SSAS kind of things. I mean, so we'll be learning some part of it actually. Okay, so what is required? I mean, we'll be learning about that one. Okay, again, one at the last, I mean, by the end of the course, will be performing a live case study. I mean, end-to-end kind of case study. So, I mean, I'll show you, I mean, what you can do in the end-to-end case study. Okay. So this is what we'll be learning. Okay. So after this, I mean, if time permits, I'll show you some integration with Snowflake and Azure Data Lake storage as well. Yeah. Okay. So that's it, guys. From my end. Yeah. If you're having any questions, let me know, guys. Yes, Manjunath.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay, is it possible for you to share this list on WhatsApp with the things which you will be completing during the course?
Okay, fine. On today's session, you're speaking about?
The thing which you have shown just now on the Word document, all the course contents.
Okay, okay, fine.
I have a question,
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Ramesh. Ramesh.
Yes, Omar.
For your course, it will be possible to access to Power BI to create any project? Or,
Yes.
Or we need to implement or install the Power BI desktop?
See, let me tell you guys, every concept we'll be working on practically. It's not like only theoretical part. So much more will be into the practical oriented session. So where I'll be showing you what kind of, like say for example, relating to that particular topic, we'll be working on some kind of scenario there. Okay. So I'll make you learn and I will even give you some kind of case studies and assignments as well. Okay. So that you get some kind of hands-on here. Again, as I told you, by the end, I mean, we'll be working on some kind of live case studies. Like if time permits, I'll show you some integrations on Snowflake and Azure Data Lake storage, and even we'll be working on the end-to-end kind of implementation as well. So Manjunath, you are unable to mute. Okay, unmute. I mean, okay. So let me check here.
Hi, Vamsi. Able to hear?
Yes.
See, can we integrate AWS any data analytics or data this one into Power BI?
Yes, of course you can do that one. So the thing is, like say for example on AWS, say for example, understand that your data is into some kind of S3 bucket. So what you can do is you can, bring the data into your Azure Data Lake. From Data Lake, we are having Power BI integration.
Okay. Even the GCP, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud.
Yes.
Anything can be done in a dashboard, correct?
Yes. Whatever it is, see, the thing is, today we are having some kind of data lake kind of architecture, right? Because, see, we are getting data from different kinds of data sources here. Okay.
Correct.
So, data lake is some kind of platform where you can integrate any kind of data in its native format. Then what you can do, you can integrate it with your Power BI and you can come up with some kind of reports.
Thanks, Bob.
Yes, guys, any other questions? So let me tell you one thing. So because of today, like say for example, the kind of data we are getting, right? Okay, so which is into some different kinds of formats here. So that is why you take any kind of cloud architecture kind of thing. So generally they employ some kind of data lake and delta lake kind of architectures. So because so it is one kind of platform where it can unify all the like for example, all of my data resources there. Okay, so whether it is structured, semi-structured, unstructured kind of format, or whatever the data it might be. Okay, so that is why you see in the today's data engineering kind of architectures, right? You data warehousing or the cloud data warehouse or the data engineering kind of architectures, they employ some kind of data lake. Okay, so data lake and delta lake, even delta lake also. Okay, so those kind of architectures. Okay, so you can see, any kind of data, that will be integrated or will be like, for example, dealt onto these kind of platforms here. Okay. So because if I have one single platform where I can, like, say, for example, I'm having, say, for example, on top of that one, I might be having some kind of, I want to come up with some kind of prediction models, like, say, for example, performing some kind of machine learning activities. Or else, like, say, for example, I want to process that data using my Spark engine. Okay, so like Databricks. Or else, like, say, for example, I'm having some kind of requirement, only end user kind of requirement. Or like, say, for example, I want that data to give some kind of real time recommendations. Okay, so because I'm having some kind of e-commerce data with me, so my customers want some kind of recommendations on the product recommendations or whatever it is. Okay, so all such kind of activities, because here the scenarios are endless kind, and okay, so they are endless kind of things. So that is why if I can have any kind of architectures, okay, in such a way that, okay, where I can deal with all that kind of data, so it will be much more advantage and helpful even for me as well, and even for the end users as well. Okay, so because they will be consuming the the data actually. Okay, so that is why we do employ these kind of architectures. So your Power BI also can fit into all these kind of different kinds of architectures here, whether it is not the normal cloud data warehouse kind of thing, or the delta and data lake kind of architectures, everywhere, so it can be employed. Okay, so that is why you can see, even in some interviews also, they might be asking if you know these kind of architectures, or have you worked on so and so kind of architectures. So that's the reason they will be asking you, because see, because of the data they're having and the requirements they're having onto that kind of data platforms. So by the end, see, whatever the data architectures you might be working, coming up with visualizations is very essential actually. So that is why, even you as a Power BI developers will be having a lot of scope onto by learning this kind of things. Any other questions, guys?
So for how many days you will be taking this demo lecture?
It's not any demo. Today we had demo. If possible, tomorrow we will be having some other kind of demo as well. But again, from the third day, we'll be starting off with our course, guys. So it will be for 40 days.
Okay, all the
40 days, and if you just share the, is it Monday to Saturday?
Yeah, Monday to Friday. Yes, of course. On Saturdays, if you people are interested, I'll take the session. That's not it. Okay.
And what will be the timing?
Timing the same, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or it will be from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. as well. Okay, so we'll discuss about that one.
So what about the placement assistance?
Yeah, placement assistance, once you complete this one, right? Okay, so we'll help you with your resume preparation and some other kind of placement related activities. So for that thing, you just please contact the admins. Okay, so they will let you know what kind of process it is.
okay, all the information regarding the fee or the
Sorry, Omar?
hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, all the information regarding the fee or the duration of the course of all the payments we need to. Are you going to let us know?
Yeah.
What's up? Okay.
Yes.
Is it possible to start without any previous knowledge of programming?
See, programming is not required here. You need to have, basic knowledge of SQL. Okay, so that would be sufficient. We don't require any kind of programming kind of knowledge here.
Okay. Thank you.
course fee.
Yeah, that and all, please discuss with the management, so they will get you. Okay, so check with the management, they'll let you know. Course fee. So, I mean, again, placement related activities, you just speak to them, and the course duration will be for about 40 days. Okay. Okay, so fine, guys. So let's meet tomorrow. In tomorrow's session, I'll show you some other kind of activities on Power BI. So after that, we'll start off with our regular sessions here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys.